This program is sponsored by Margaret College of the Holy Family, Parramatta.
Welcome to Educating for Success, and we're filming it here at Margaret College of the Holy Family in Parramatta. My name is Sister Margaret, I'm the principal of the college, and today we're going to talk about two subject areas or particular areas in secondary, and we have two special guests today. We have Jackie Botros. How are you going, Jackie?
Good, thank you.
And we have Shilpa Kumar. How are you going, Shilpa?
Good, thank you, sister.
Okay, Jackie, you are the TAS coordinator, so what does TAS mean?
Okay, TAS is actually an abbreviation for Technology and Applied Studies.
Okay, so you're at the corner of this department. Can you explain what it is, what it's all about?
Yep, basically it's a hands-on subject from 7 to 12, and it's a mandatory subject in Year 7 and 8. It's known as Technology Mandatory in Year 7 and 8. We teach them different areas of study, gives an introduction to what they can choose in an elective in Year 9 and 10. Which is basically textiles, timber technologies, multimedia and food technology. And then in Year 11 and 12, in their senior years, stage 6, they can choose multimedia at our school, textiles technology, even timber technology if they wish. Otherwise, they can branch into a VET subject.
Which we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So Shilpa, you're the VET coordinator.
Yes.
What does VET stand for?
Vocational Education and Training. What VET actually does is it offers kids an opportunity to do a vocational subject, which is more competency-based. So they end up starting with us in Year 11, which branches out from Jackie's into hospitality, which is Certificate 1 in hospitality. For Year 12, they go on to do Certificate 2 in hospitality. Now, at Margaret College, we offer 3 VET courses, which is VET Construction, VET Hospitality, and VET Retail Services.
Okay. We'll go into detail about what they actually do. So do you want to talk about your subjects and what they actually teach, what areas?
Yep. With Year 7 and 8, so we'll go back to the basics. We've got Technology Mandatory. There are 3 areas of study. We have built environments, products, and information and communications. So we devise our programs based on our facilities here at the college, and we're lucky to have a lot of facilities based.
What are they?
Okay, what are they? So in Year 7, Term 1 and 2, Semester 1, they do timber technologies and an introduction to what design is. And I think these days, design's very underrated. People don't value the academic ability of the subject. However, I believe there's a lot of critical thinking in design, and the kids take on a project where they design a clock based on a brief. And at the end of the day, they create a product that they can take home that they've made themselves and design themselves with their peers. They get evaluated, and their teacher obviously assists them in the woodwork room. And then in Term 3 and 4, Semester 2, they do another area of information and communication, and they create a website. Again, we're very lucky at our college. The nuns have invested, or the sisters like you, have invested in the Adobe Master Suite collection. And I have to say this, there's not many schools that actually offer this program because of its expense.
That's true.
So our kids are getting exposed to it from Year 7, and the design schools that I went to before university, so at Enmore, they were the types of colleges that offered these programs. So we're giving these kids exposure, building up their ICT skills. They're creating websites that professionals would pay for people to do if they owned a business. So we're teaching them really good skills from very early ages. They're basic.
And do you find they're competent in these things?
At the beginning, they find it a bit challenging. However, giving them more exposure to the ICT environment and the program itself, yeah, they do. They become competent by the end of it. They create a website of their interest, and it really just taps into their creativity and their ability to master some skills in ICT. Then Year 7 is pretty much the woodwork and the website. Year 8, We get into a bit more hands-on projects, and lately the boys have been outdoing the girls' ability, and I think that's a lot of the influences come from the media, unfortunately.
Interesting.
Term 1 and 2, they do a program on cooking, so food technology. Not just the cooking and teaching them skills of what to do in the kitchen, but we teach them about nutrition, making healthier choices, making them more aware of the obesity epidemic in Australia and of the youth, for people their age.
What is it, one in every what?
One in every 3.
Yeah, one in every 3.
And I think currently we're topping on a global scale, being the fattest nation. So, you know, basically it's showing the kids that yes, you come from a lifestyle where your parents both work. In the past, this may never have been the case. So we're relying on convenience food, which is leading to obesity. And then we're just showing them basic ways of preparing food at home, because I think most of the time that's what they're doing. They're coming home to no one being at home.
Yes.
Cooking for
That's true.
themselves, or
Yes.
bypassing a fast food outlet on their way home. And because we're aware of this, we're trying to change their life, you know, their choices in life that they make in regards to food. So we're building on those skills in term 1 and 2. And I don't mean to keep harping on how blessed we are at this college, but
Why not?
why not, exactly.
We do have wonderful resources.
We do. And recently, our latest addition is the Cool Room, which is fantastic because they're seeing how things get stored on an industrial scale. The Parent Association also purchased 5 brand new KitchenAids, and they're like $800 each. Every time I go to an in-service and I let the hospitality or food tech teachers know what we have, they're like, oh, what school are you? I'm like, Maronite College of the Holy Family. So it's fantastic knowing that bit by bit and year after year we're building on these great resources, and it's all for the benefit of the students at our college.
Yes.
And now it's life skills. It's nothing that they won't remember in 10 years' time. It's something they'll learn forever.
Yes.
Lastly, term 3 and 4 in year 8. We look at interior design. So it's a built environment, and they have to design a cushion, and it's textile skills. So they're learning how to sew. The boys get into it.
I was going to say, do the boys enjoy that?
They, I think, do come up with some designs because we display them in the library, and a lot of beautiful designs are up there. And quite interestingly, it's the parents who notice them, because when parents come and meet me, if they're walking through the library, they go, oh, who designed that? I go, oh, have a look. And they actually get quite interested because the whole display is up there for everyone to see. And that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think we have to remember as well, most of the famous designers these days
Male.
are male. Yeah.
As are the chefs.
Chris Esper from our school.
Exactly.
Doing really well for himself these days.
Yeah, it's very hard to break into the Australian fashion industry, and he's definitely pursued a solid ground in the Australian fashion career. So it's fantastic, and he's an ex-student from Maronite College of the Holy Family. It was Our Lady of Lebanon back then.
Yep.
So yeah, when you bring up examples like that to the kids, they realise that this is real. This was a student once here too, and I can achieve this. And the textiles room, again, the Parent Association and the nuns at our college, who always have full support of everything we want to do here. We've got an embroidery machine.
Overlocker.
A couple of overlockers. We've got a machine that meshes fabric together as well. It's just giving them more exposure to different types of machinery, building on their skills, but we will always teach them with a needle and a thread first, get those basic skills in mind.
I think what you offer is quite good, because kids who do come up in 9 and 10 think about doing textiles either in year 11 and 12, and even after year 11 and 12 they think of that as a career option. And they actually start investigating into different colleges out there, especially White House, and say, I want to do this, and they do pursue that quite successfully. And I think 2 years ago, about 5 of our graduates from this school are actually at White House.
Yeah, we do well.
And they do really well, especially when you have your really famous expo.
That's right.
They come back,
We give them an opportunity to flaunt their talents in the Expo Extravaganza, combined with the art department and other departments of the school. It gives them something to look forward to when they're involved in class, and they can see an external thing to work towards.
You've done year 7, year 8. Year 9 food tech is
another subject they can choose as an elective. So 7 and 8, they get an introduction to all 4 areas they can take on as an elective. So the most popular one lately has been food technology. And then we've got timber technologies, and that's a branch of industrial technology. and multimedia as well.
Do you want to explain what multimedia is?
Yep, so multimedia, again, draws on their ICT skills. It taps into animation. A lot of the movies we watch nowadays, 3D animation, so kids want to know, how do we create something like this? Even apps on iPhones, games, all that sort of thing, they can learn the basis of in this course in year 9 and 10. We've got a lot of iPads that they use at the moment. We also have the Adobe Master Suite collection, so they got things like Fireworks, Dreamweaver to create movies, and you've got your website designs in Dreamweaver, InDesign, Photoshop to do illustrations and posters, getting them into all sorts of media like that.
Okay, thanks, Jackie. We'll move on to Shilpa for a bit so you can take a break. Do you want to go into detail about each subject and what it involves?
VET at school, we offer 3 courses: construction, hospitality and retail. Construction we have at 11 and 12, and it's the boys that pick up the skills in year 9 and 10 at woodwork, and that is a prerequisite at the college. Boys bring in, as well as girls. We've got 2 girls this year. We had 1 girl last year. She's still going on quite strong. And they're bringing the skills in terms of using the different types of tools, as well as doing individual projects. Projects could go into building a cubby house, building a dog kennel, as well as doing some concreting as well in the school. They have quite successfully laid out a few flower beds and vegetable patches around the college as well. So it's making really good practical use of their skills.
And those who pick that subject go on to do, I assume, construction,
yes,
building.
they do quite successfully. They either go and pick up plumbing, electrotechnology, construction in different strands, either at TAFE, or they take construction and they actually go and do project management in University of Western Sydney as well as UTS. And some of the boys who have done construction are doing exceptionally well at UTS. They go ahead, get themselves a really high ATAR, and they're quite well off.
Yeah.
Yep, and they're doing really well. Boys come in thinking, we want to become a foreman. Like, okay, what does foreman mean? You have to start with the basics and build up from there.
Yes.
And they do really well at project management. And some of these boys, because they have to do work experience and work placement, and from this particular work placement, they actually end up getting part-time jobs.
Yeah, great.
So they are able to connect the school with the work as well as taking it further into the career parts.
Okay.
And they do really well. Hospitality, we're lucky to have Jackie as our hospitality teacher. They do the food and beverage elective or the section. And over there they work with the recipes, they work looking at the...
I might get Jackie to talk about that because I'm going to get you later on to talk about careers and work placement. So do you want to talk a bit more about hospitality?
Hospitality, I think it's a great subject to do when you're 11 and 12. I did it many years ago for my HSC. I want to harp into a little bit about parents' perception of hospitality.
Yes.
About 5 years ago, I got approached by a parent. Oh, why should my daughter do this subject? She's going to be a lawyer. I don't want her to get her hands dirty. And I thought, you're really underestimating the ability of this subject and where your daughter can go. It's not about being a girl or a boy or your typical ideal place in society. It teaches them skills, and if I say to the students all the time, even if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, you're going to end up needing to do a part-time job while you're at university, and this skill will teach you how to communicate with colleagues. It'll teach you how to interact with customers. You'll build basic coffee skills if you're going to do a cafe job while you're at uni studying. And I think most of the time we're doing 2 jobs while we're studying at uni.
We're studying anyways, yeah.
So with hospitality, it's a fantastic subject to do because of these, positive...
With the practical skills that it actually does give them, because they have to build up on those skills.
Everyone has to know how to cook anyway.
Yes, and I think they have to have that added skill, but most importantly, it allows the kids to do something practical and still make it count towards the HSC, and even take it further if they want to.
And what's fantastic is that every time they cook something, they send it to me to
eat. It does.
I'm the taste tester, the food critic.
Right. No, they do. They have fantastic, like MasterChef challenges.
That's right.
And there are times I've walked in and they're all doing they're cooking away, they're getting their plates ready, and there's someone who's filming around, marking us. Okay, that's really good. And the kids do take it quite seriously, and they enjoy it.
That's right. You should run a restaurant one day in there and get the teachers to come and eat, and they have to pay. So
Or
a cookbook.
Yeah, I'd love the cookbook.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
we'd probably put one.
Cookbook, and then we can, distribute it.
Something to aim for.
One more.
Yes,
Before
one
we
more
go to our
subject.
break, can you quickly talk about retail?
Retail services is a very practical subject. It's one of the things where kids learn how to actually work in a retail industry, selling goods and services. Looking at the retail aspect, it is one industry that every child will go into, irrespective of which career path they will follow. So in the course, we learn about some of the basic communication skills. We talk about stock taking, merchandising of the product, and
Profits.
also, yes,
And losses.
and losses. We talk about even how to handle cash. Kids actually end up doing a practical assessment task where they have to serve a customer operating the cash register. We do have a cash register, though old one, but it still works. Weighing goods and services, and just to basic serve the customers.
And they go on work experience.
Yes,
Which we'll talk about
yes.
after the break, because I think we're going to
Okay.
take a break and we'll be back after
Okay.
the break. Thank you. Okay.
This program is sponsored by Maronite College of the Holy Family, Parramatta.
What do you do if your child has too much homework?
To make the learning for the students better, more engaging.
What do you do if your child does not have homework?
And we group the children as per their ability.
Do you prefer the traditional methods of teaching?
Here we've got interactive whiteboards in all of the
As well,
classrooms.
yeah.
If you want answers to these questions, watch our program Educating for Success with Sister Margaret Lawson, the Principal of Maronite College of the Holy Family, Parramatta, on Midpoint TV.
Welcome back to Educating for Success. As I said before, in our studio we have Jackie and Shilpa, and they're talking to us about TAS and VET. Now, Shilpa, you're also career
Yes.
advisor.
That's correct.
So if you want to talk to us about work experience, work placement, careers, whatever you want to talk to us about.
Okay, I'll first talk about work placement. Work placement is more with all the VET courses. So every student that does a VET course has to go and do 70 hours of work placement.
In
This
the
is
year.
No, over the 2 years.
years.
So it's 35 hours for year 11 and 35 for year 12. We tend to do them in 1 year. That way kids are free to worry about HSC in the following year. It is a compulsory component. One of the best parts about work placement is kids are able to connect what they're learning in class and matching it up with the reality that's out there. Our kids are quite fantastic at work placement because we have won a number of industry awards.
OSIP?
OSIP,
Do you want
yes.
to talk about what that's about?
OSIP is an industry-generated award system. What it does is kids are actually nominated by the employers. These are people in the industry that hire students as well as adults, and they have nominated our students and recognise them for their hard work and their dedication. Most importantly, their initiative and their professionalism.
Now, you both go out to visit these
Yes.
students when they're on work placement. Do you want to tell us a bit about your experiences or what you see there?
Basically, it's a real shock to them because they go from being at school and being able to sleep in or
Yes.
rely on mum or dad to drive them. But over here, they are a bit shocked. They know
Yes.
that this is the way it is. We've got a boss now and we have hours to fulfil and definitely good ethic to display. So they come back to school going, oh, we really like school now, miss. And I'm like, I'm so glad to hear that.
And on the other hand, we have work placement visits where employers are just impressed with our students.
So what kind of places do you place these students at?
Okay, so for construction, they might go to a construction site. Some of the businesses we're associated with one of them is Dildan Construction. They go to JCM as well. They look at a few of the other places down in West Spannett Hills as well as in Hornsby. Kids actually travel,
Wow.
catch the trains, and they are told it's a reality.
And parents
Parents do, yeah. Some of them do. Some of them do put an
Worry,
argument,
yeah.
and they do worry about it, which is natural.
It's a good learning
But
experience.
it is a learning
That's right,
experience.
it's a reality
Yeah.
once you're in the workforce.
And,
you've got to
and that's the thing that we
Yeah.
do tell them. For hospitality, they go to cafes. So it's cafes down in Westfields,
Yeah,
as
local
well as
ones.
restaurants down in Church Street.
What kind of stuff would they actually do in a cafe? Would they actually cook the food or more kitchen hand?
A bit of both, front and back house. So you have the kids serving customers,
Okay.
taking orders. They do a bit of cleaning.
Yeah.
They also prepare food with the
Yeah.
chef in the back room. Basic skills.
Really
in the
skills
kitchen.
and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, showing
Yeah.
their chopping skills, their culinary skills. So.
And for retail, they go down to Bunnings Hardware. They go down to Myers, Target, Big W, Best and Less.
So they're stocking the shelves and
Yes,
selling. And
it's basically reshelving, it's cleaning. There's a lot of cleaning associated
Yeah.
with it, and that's why kids come back and is that all I'm doing? But the reality, every
Yeah.
person has to start at the bottom
that's right.
before they go up.
A lot of them come back going, Miss, they didn't let me make coffee. And I said, well, coffee is a very touchy area
That's
for a lot
right.
of
You got to get
cafes.
your coffee right, don't
But
you?
kids do end up getting job offers,
Yeah,
and
they
some of
do.
those job offers start off them in year 11 and they continue all the way through.
Yes.
And I was lucky enough to visit one of our stores lately. One of our students that graduated a few years ago, like probably I think 5 years ago, actually was still working there,
Yeah.
but as a part-time job, and he was quite successful.
Yeah.
He was quite happy, so that's really good.
Fantastic.
For careers is a big portfolio where the kids come in and have a chat basically with me, and we sit down and have a plan. What is it that you want to do after school? But we start off with, what are you doing in years 7 and 8? What do you plan to do in 9 and 10, and then take them to year 11 and 12?
That's right, because they've got
It's
three
subjects.
subjects. they
Yes,
need
so
to
it's
know.
assisting them with, it's more like guiding them with the correct subject selection and making sure they do have the right subjects before they go to university and not get worried, oh, I don't think I've picked the right subject. So it's mainly to do with subject selection. It's also helping them going on work experience. In year 10, all year 10 students after their semester 2 exams go on work experience for 1 week. Kids start the process in term 2 where they start looking for the jobs themselves. Say, this is something you have to do. And then I find a few spots for the kids who are unable to. And they have that 1 week to go and find themselves jobs and basically try out if that is the career field I would like to pursue. So kids might go and work in accountant's office, lawyer's office, on a construction site. And we're lucky that we also get hospitals who actually take on our kids as well. We've had kids going down to Blacktown Hospital on 2 occasions, and we've got 2 kids going down to Westmead this year. And 1 kid who actually possibly might be going to the zoo as well.
Oh, interesting.
So it's something that they want to pursue,
Well,
and
best career.
he's
As a
thinking
vet?
about it.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
and he's thinking about that. So, and we're lucky. We've as a college we have established really good network connections with a lot of workplaces,
That's so
which
important.
which helps us out a number of times. And then we talk about kids who want to possibly go into apprenticeships as well. So it's guiding the students and working with the parents, making sure that they are making a collective decision and an informed one. And that's working with careers. It's
Okay.
quite involved.
Keeps you busy, doesn't it?
It does, yes. We're lucky. Kids work really well because it's looking at whether they want to do ATAR or go non-ATAR, whether they want to go to university or pick another pathway for themselves. And I think we're lucky in Australia, we get a lot of pathways.
Okay, aside from going to uni, where else could students end up?
Students could go to TAFE, students could go to numerous colleges. And in colleges that we have now in Australia, there are a lot of specialist colleges where they basically focus in one area. So we could have colleges for cookering as well.
There's Canval College.
Canval,
Cordon Bleu,
yeah, Cordon Bleu
Wright.
is there. There's so many. And it ties in with if they want to go into music, they want to go into IT, filmmaking. Gaming is on the rise. A lot of kids are now into gaming.
worry too,
Yes,
though, but
which is a worry as well.
It's always what's trending.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the new generation.
And I think that is a concern that comes in as well. So I think in careers, I tend to work with a lot of departments in the school, as with a lot of teachers within that education part,
Liaising.
as well as liaising with outside people as well. And I think for VET and careers, we work closely with Catholic Parramatta Education Office as well, because they are our provider.
That's right. Thanks, Shilpa. Jackie, we do this wonderful expo extravaganza at the end of each year, and a lot of your department is involved in that. Do you want to walk us through it?
Yep, basically it gives the opportunity to flaunt their talents and the projects they've been working on throughout the year. I usually work with the food tech students. We get a stand going. We pick a theme, because the last unit they look at in year 10 is food service or catering establishment. So I'll get them to do like a mobile catering business, and they serve little snacks that follow through the theme of the extravaganza for the year. And then the textile students, the year 8, get to show their cushions, they're on display. The timber students get to put their woodwork products on display. The fashion students,
the big one.
Yep, the year 12s, their garments.
Yeah.
And what's great is that Mr. Scene or Fiona or Mrs. Botros, they get in people from outside, like White House.
Yes.
Yeah, to judge.
Yep, particular art galleries even, they come in to judge, and they're always amazed by the work that the kids produce, and they offer scholarships. And it just shows you how important it is for the community to support schools like they have with careers, giving them scholarships when they see their talent in the college, and the parent support as always.
It is, yeah. The relationships are very important, and
fantastic.
our kids do end up getting a number of scholarships. We have even kids who have graduated, end up going to universities, and universities, especially Australian and Lebanese Foundation at University of Sydney, they offer our kids scholarships as well. So it works really, really well to have all those connections.
Yeah, definitely need a good network to run a great school.
Yeah.
We're going to close up, so anything else you want to say before we finish off this program?
Oh, I think we're lucky. We're very lucky to be in a school that is very supportive of the role that I am doing, in the sense that getting the time obviously for the careers, and it's very easy to work with the parents and with the students and with the school to say, because we're all working towards that common goal, how can we make and how can we improve a child's life? And I think that's the big thing that comes out from, especially from my experience, where it's everyone's working so well together that it makes my job so much easier, because I'm not pushing on anything or fighting on anything. It's a smooth running thing. And I think we are blessed to have the sisters who are so supportive of it.
We're wonderful, aren't we?
You are, yes. We are, no. And I think for VET, and even speaking from a VET's perspective, we are blessed to have the equipment that we have, because it would not have been possible without it.
Yeah. But we still always need to expand and improve.
Oh, course. Definitely, yeah. I think that would be a really good long plan to extend it a little bit more.
Well, I'm thinking of 2 construction rooms if I can get it.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Another building, a TAS building.
Another one.
We could add on.
A food tech room maybe.
Also, like, just seeing the college grow from the moment I was employed here to now. And
how many years is that?
Nearly 8.
A bit longer than that.
Maybe longer, but I've seen a massive transition from what we were before, and how we're continually improving year after year, getting new facilities installed and all that sort of thing for the kids to use and the teachers to learn how to use as well. The students are also pretty much the most ones that determine what department is to expand.
Yes.
When I first started here, there was like a little bit of students doing food tech, a little bit doing textiles.
Yeah,
now there's 2 massive classes in each form. So
and there's always a demand that we need more demand of that particular department. Yeah.
That's right.
And the teachers are working more collaboratively now, especially in the TAS department. I know they used to give you a lot of grey hairs back in the day.
I still got it. All right. Well, thank you for your time, both of you.
Thank you, sister.
And we'll see you next time in Educating for Success. Thank you.